I've been training wrestling for 15 years. I started when I was young.
I've been training wrestling for 3 years, and I've done matches for 2 years.
I've been training now for a year.
I've been training for about 7 years now.
Så jeg startede tilbage i 2016 til faktisk Fake+or+Break, som jeg er på det her år, 2018.
I've been training in wrestling for 12 years now. I started when I was 15, just before my 16th birthday. I started in a little town called Runcorn. There should always be an element of back and forth, and the shine is just the babyface coming out on top, and the heat is just the heel coming out on top.
I just loved it since I was a kid, just like every kid. But I always thought that if somebody else is doing it for a living, then I can do it for a living too. Most people, when they grow up, they're taught that they can't be wrestlers, they've got to get a real job and stuff. I just never let it go.
I never watched wrestling on TV when I was a kid. I went to a live show when I was an adult, and I was just blown away by how amazing it was, like how invested I was in what was going on. Like, probably everyone knows what wrestling is and what it isn't, but once you're there, it's like this most immersive kind of movie. You care so much about what goes on.
I grew up watching it as a child, and I always, like most kids, always dream of doing all these things when they watch the heroes. Like I was watching Shawn Michaels when I was younger, Bret Hart, all these guys, just thinking, oh, I'd love to do that, and then you finally get the opportunity to do it.
And then I started seeing all these cool spots and I was like, whoa. Then there's something clicked in my head, just like that. And I thought, I could probably do that, maybe.
I got signed by WWE early this year. If WWE never came knocking for me, if they did not sign me, I could still retire happy. People don't need to make it to that very tippy top level to be happy in this job, because wrestling can be the best job in the world if you allow it to be. The WWE is the biggest wrestling company, the biggest sports entertainment company in the entire world. So they have the pick of everyone. If they want wrestler X from Japan, they'll just sign him straight away. So of all the hundreds of thousands of wrestlers in the world, they get to pick everyone. So you need to do something to stand out. And every day that you don't eat the right food is another day that you're going to spend climbing. Every day that, fly in my face there, sorry. Every day that you pass up on the opportunity to train with someone who knows something that you don't know, then that's another day that you've passed up this opportunity to get better. So if there's any advice for any one wrestler who wants to make it to that top level, wants to make it to the WWE, it's just don't stop, keep pushing forwards, don't give up, don't be too proud to go and train somewhere. If you've been wrestling for 12 years and someone's been wrestling for 6 years, if they know something that you don't know, go and ask them about it.
I train 3 times a week, so Tuesdays, Thursdays, and then a weekend day. But when I'm not training, I'm also in the gym, because obviously to be a professional wrestler as well, you have to have the look.
Usually twice a week. I'm one of the trainers in Finland, so I want to be there as much as possible to help the other guys, the younger guys. I go to the gym like 3 or 4 times a week, and I try to squeeze maybe 2 or 3 cardio sessions a week as well.
Man kan sige, at jeg er stadig professionel MMA-kæmper, og jeg træner faktisk hver dag kampsport. Jeg træner måske 1 gang om ugen selve wrestling-træning, men udover det, så får jeg min styrke og min cardio og så videre ind over det per uge, ikke? Eller, ja.
Oh, I go to the gym usually 3 times a week if I can, and try and do some cardio stuff in between. I'm also looking to start up martial arts, Muay Thai as well. Usually it's only once a week with PBW.
The whole reason we take our feet out and bump is that when we've got them there, we can bump like that if we're lucky, but we want to protect after them. But you need to land straight on your back.
Det, som jeg synes, der er svært for mig, det er ikke så meget det der med at udvikle sig. Udvikle, det kan jeg sagtens, men det der med at komme ud til udlandet, internationalt, og ligesom få succes som dansker, det synes jeg måske er svært. Men nu snakker jeg kun for 2 års erfaring, men det er faktisk det, som jeg synes er svært, og jeg gerne vil videre.
I'm not a very acrobatic kind of person, so I struggle with doing the more like flippy stuff. It also has been a struggle to sort of find my character. Who am I as a wrestler? What's my gimmick? What sort of, how does she look in the ring? That sort of thing has been quite difficult, but very rewarding.
I think if you want to be a professional wrestler, you have to make a lot of sacrifices in life to be able to achieve those goals. So like social events, nights out, seeing friends, sometimes you might not be able to do it as much as you could when you weren't training wrestling. So I think that's probably the hardest thing that people would have to come to terms with, would the realization of like the amount of effort and work that you have to put in.
Maybe the fact that I'm not actually making money off wrestling right now is basically the hardest thing to swallow, you know, because I just love this business and I really want to do it professionally.
Altså uden tvivl, Kim, a.k.a. Kaos, han har hjulpet mig til at kickstarte den her wrestlingkarriere. Jeg har det sådan her, at alle dem, som wrestler i dag, hvis det ikke var for Kim, så ville de ikke være wrestler i dag. Så takket være ham, selvom han er en nar, nogle gange, så er han stadig en god nar. Og jeg ved ikke, han sidder lige der.
I've been wrestling for 12 years and I've just now started getting the recognition, which is what I always wanted. So to get to that position was every single day in those 12 years. I did a sales job for a couple of weeks, and the guy teaching me in that sales job, he said, every day that you spend not hitting your goals is another day that you spend climbing the ladder, basically. And it's the same in wrestling. You need to be as good of a wrestler as you're going to be. You need to have the best physique that your body will allow for. You need to be the best athlete. There's so many things that go into wrestling that we don't always get the credit for, and you need to strive to be the very best in every single one of those fields.
Turn on the right. There you go. And then just take anything on top. Good.
I'm from Liverpool. Yeah, I'm stood here talking to a camera in Denmark. I shouldn't have been allowed to do that. There's so many people in the UK that never get that opportunity to just be here and walk around and see the sights. I've had 3 tours of China. I don't know anyone else in my area that's ever placed a foot in China. This job can give you everything. You get to perform in front of audiences who are all cheering for you. You get to go and talk to fans from all around the world. You get to travel all around the world. You get to have fun, because ultimately we're all just performers on these big tours. So I have fun in the ring, I have fun while I'm wrestling and all the crowd are cheering. Then I get backstage and I'm surrounded by a load of guys and girls who all love the same thing that I do.
The reason I come to Denmark to train is that they have this great training camp that is like 1 week of intensive wrestling training, and they bring in good trainers. And you just sort of get really into it for 5 days, and we don't really have that anywhere else, and I really like that concept.
I've only been doing it a year, and to be able to have that on your resume, for example, your wrestling resume, to say, oh, I've trained with Dansk Pro Wrestling, the biggest wrestling promotion in all of Denmark, that's such a big thing in the eyes of, you know, promoters, trainers, fans, just to be able to say that.
We heard about it through, I think it was Lou, and he told us that there's going to be summer camps over, like different countries and stuff, and they said they recommended Fake+or+Break, and we thought, okay, we'll have a look at that, and we started lining up for that. We saw who was going to be taking the training, and we thought, yeah, we better get over there.
Yeah, just add that little bit of extra pressure. Okay. Now just watch, if I start turning, you can walk with me. Yeah. But if I block his knee, I can't walk. Okay, I can get it. Makes more sense. Yeah. So it's there, so it's like, spin under, his hand comes out.
We've came over here to Denmark. We've got a room full of 30 trainees, and not one person is lazy. Not one person is sitting back and taking it for granted, because as far as I'm aware, in Denmark, there is one wrestling company, and it's this wrestling company. And if there is another one that I don't know about, it's because it's not very good, because I don't know about it. And I love pro wrestling, so I know everything about wrestling. This is the company to be at, DPW. If you live in Denmark, or even if you're in the surrounding areas like Sweden, this is the wrestling company to come to. And they are providing these opportunities. They're flying guys like ourselves in so that people can come here and they can learn. And it works both ways. DPW have offered up this opportunity for their lads and their girls, and the lads and the girls are not sitting back. They've all stepped up and they're all here to take this opportunity.